and then JJ Disini here will make a statement. I think first, thank you very much to the people at UP who heard our statement, to all of you who are still here. This is, the word I've used today is travesty. There are lots of questionable moves that have kept me here in overnight at the NBI. I hope only overnight, but this is actually all bailable. So let's see.
Sir, Sir, what happened to the night court? Bakit hindi napayagang mag-bail tonight si Maria?
So we were hoping that the night court would post bail, that, allow her to bail, go out and be released. But the information that we received was that there was some concern expressed by the judge that perhaps he didn't have the jurisdiction because he's a Metropolitan Trial Court judge, and this is a case before the Regional Trial Court.
But the law says.
The law says actually that he did have the authority to release, to order the release, but it got to the point where the court actually shut down, and so there were no other options available.
Sir, was that denial in written form, like may denial na Ressa, or verbal conversation lang between the judge and the lawyer?
It wasn't. I don't think we got to the point where we actually filed the application there. So parang right now we're left with the option of filing the application tomorrow morning.
Sir, was the Pasay court the only night court ngayong gabi?
So as far as we know, yes. There was one in Quezon City, but they closed at 6:30. So Pasay would have been the place to file.
Sir, have we found out kung kailan final ng DOJ yung charge sa Manila RTC?
We're finding that out. Actually, it seems like it was last week, which is a bit unusual because we had only received a copy of the resolution yesterday. And under the rules, we had time to file a motion for reconsideration, and we had actually prepared one already. And we were ready to file it, but it turns out that the arrest order had been issued.
How much yung recommended bail, sir?
Actually, that's the thing, the recommended bail is in the information, and we don't have a copy of the information. But it's about 120,000 pesos. This is one count of cyber libel.
So tomorrow sa mismong branch 46?
Yes, in Manila, that's where the application for bail will be filed. And we hope that by the end of the day, the release order can be implemented and Maria will be released.
Sir, I imagine mag-file kayo ng motion to quash before the Manila RTC.
The next step would be for us to file for a quashal of the information. We think that the information is deficient on many grounds. Among which that the interpretation taken by the Department of Justice, I think, is wrong. So the position of the Department of Justice is that the cyber libel expires in 12 years. When in fact the Supreme Court in the cybercrime case said that cyber libel is the same as libel, and in the revised penal code, says that libel expires 1 year after publication. So even assuming that this was republished in 2014, the time to file the libel case would have expired in 2015. And it was filed, I believe, in 2017, so way beyond the period set by law.
So yung sinasabi ng DOJ na multiple publication, well, is that unheard of? Like, narinig din na ba yun in your career?
So, what the law on libel says is that if you republish a libel, that is a different violation. In this particular case, the so-called republication was a correction of a punctuation mark or an addition of a punctuation mark, which did not affect the meaning of the original quote, if allegedly libelous material. So if it was libelous back in 2012, the addition of the punctuation did not add anything, and therefore you cannot say that there was republication in 2014. This is a legal point that perhaps I think is something that we can bring all the way up to the Supreme Court, because it's unique under Philippine law, and actually particularly relevant for online publications where corrections are made and corrections are published online.
Sir, was there anything that happened tonight and earlier kanina with the arrest that you want to invoke sa court na may irregularity or may rights ba si Maria na na-violate to raise before the court?
There were some unusual events, such as the arrest warrant was served after office hours, and if it had been served earlier, we might have had the opportunity to post bail, but that didn't happen, and so we are where we are, and I think we will work to get her released as soon as possible.
Other questions, guys?
Sir, sorry, karating lang po namin. Sir, Ma'am Maria Ressa, ano po masasabi niyo sa nangyari po today na hindi po kayo makapag-bail dahil late po dumating yung arrest warrant?
Parang ang dami pong yung tinatawag na irregularities. So the first is 5 p.m. You know, the NBI officers arrived at the office after 5 p.m. and with an arrest warrant, but without how much to pay for bail, something called the information. So our lawyers were actually at the court ready to post bail, but they couldn't post bail because it wasn't part of the arrest warrant. That's 2. 3, the judge in that court that was open until 9 p.m. could have accepted it and had the power to accept it. He chose not to accept it. So for me, it's quite petty. Apparently, I'm supposed to feel the power of the state and stay here tonight. Let's see, I hope it's only tonight, but even if it's not, again, thank you for all of you being here with us, and we're gonna just hold the line. We keep going.
One quick question. Were NBI personnel banning you earlier to take photos and videos during the time that you were being arrested, ma'am?
Ang daming uncertainties. And, I think here's where they were quite courteous to us. They allowed our lawyers to come in, which is still a constitutional right. So, hard to just lay blame right now, but for me, I shouldn't be here tonight. I should not be detained because we had more than enough time to post bail.
Ma'am, is there any chance we're seeing na baka po hindi pa po tanggapin yung ating bail tomorrow?
Tingnan natin, di ba?
I think we're doing everything so that there are no technicalities, and we will give absolutely no reason for the judge to deny bail. This is a bailable offense, which is I think the detention is in that sense. This is a what do you call it? Useless exercise. Right? In many cases, actually, the ordinary procedures that you allow the accused to post bail without having to undergo detention and arrest.
But sir, tonight po, ma'am will be staying in the holding room of Cybercrimes Division po.
Yes.
Alright. Rest assured that you will be taken care of. How about ma'am, your colleagues? Will anyone be staying with you overnight po? Are you allowed to have companions overnight po?
Yes, our managing editor, Glenda Gloria, will be with me along with our head of multimedia. Our lawyers will also be there. I think, what's shocking about it for me is this crosses another line. Is that what it takes to be a journalist in the Philippines today? We are just telling the story of what is happening. So they went through a lot of effort to have me here tonight. And okay, I'm here.
Maria, you've dealt with 5 counts of tax cases. Did you ever imagine or this is the case that gets you pa yung cyber libel that we thought in the early days parang?
The more ludicrous, the better. Remember, we're all here. Many of you were here with me when the cyber libel case, when we first walked in, and the NBI actually threw it out, right? And then a week later, it surfaced again. So, the more ludicrous, the better. Sorry, it makes a case for us. This is how far the government will go to try to silence a voice. I mean, what are they afraid of?
Maria, attorney, was the warrant also served on the former reporter who's also named in the cyber libel case?
So as far as we know, no.
I'm special. Sorry.
So there's no warrant for Ray?
There must be, but we don't believe that it was certain.
There is. But is it also part of the irregularities that you will be questioning in court?
What we will be doing tomorrow is applying for bail. So the matters that were raised by Maria are, in this sense, sort of irrelevant. What I think the events of tonight show that these circumstances have conspired to keep her detained here for this period of time, which in the ordinary course of events would not have happened. So this is an unusual procedure. especially for an offense such as this.
Maria, in your career, is this your first time being jailed?
It's the 6th time I will be posting bail in less than 2 months. It is the first time that I am technically in jail, right? There's always a first, so I'm trying to find the glass half full part of this, which is there's always a first. But I think, again, you know, thank you to the people who were on social media, who came out, so many friends who were okay. I'm fine, and you know, I alternate between raging and also just being professional. We will continue to do what's right. And I call on the government to observe the rule of law, to prevent law being used and weaponized against its perceived critics.
Ma'am, do you have any statement? Because Secretary Panelo said that the arrest that happened tonight doesn't have anything to do with you being a critic of the current administration.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Really?
Attorney, after posting bail tomorrow, what will be your next legal step?
I think as we discussed, we're going to question the validity of the information or the indictment. We feel that there are many deficiencies in the indictment, in the information, and we will be filing a motion to that effect.
Ma'am, can we categorically say that everything that happened today was harassment from the government?
Look, I think for me, and I've had many hours to think about it, right? In the traffic in the car coming here, and then while we've been going through this, I've listened to our lawyers and what they're doing. I've seen the efforts that they put in place. To me, what's different about this? Another line was crossed tonight. It wasn't enough to just intimidate me and Rappler with the threat of legal cases, the threat of tax cases, all of which we'll fight in court. This one now is they want me to feel that I can be imprisoned. Okay, I'm here. But that still doesn't mean that Rappler, or I hope any journalist in the Philippines, will stop telling the truth. We will and must hold the line, and we will and must say when the Constitution is violated. I always hope for the best, but I also think it's very clear to us that we must say when a line is crossed. It's a new line.
All right.
Thank you.